All right, welcome to yet another episode of Money Mouth, the gambling podcast where we're going to make your asses some money. Right now, you're here with John B. Eazy, Durnell, and Duke Thompson. Duke, how are you doing?
Doing well, man. A week's vacation doesn't mind good, so I can't complain, man.
Actually, better yet, how are we doing? How are we doing as far as the money is going? Are we making money?
We got a little scared, but, as the listeners know, scared money doesn't make any money, people. You can't be scared. So that's why we are up $30.90, my friend.
That's right. We made more money. We're putting that money where it's supposed to go, I guess, into our pockets to become more money.
Into our future, to our kids' future college account.
I don't know if we're making enough to put into any kid's college funds, but, whatever, man. We're making money, and that's all that matters.
Hey. There's parlays, man. That's what's doing it. We went 6-6 last week, 67, 57, and 4. But like I said, that parlay is what did it, damn it. $30 win on a 3-team bet, man. And we're 2-8 on the parlays now. So if we hit some more parlays, man, we could be up, $200-$300, man.
That's true, man. That is true. Well, let's see. Hopefully we can, make it all work out this week with the picks that we have. So we went, 6-6 you said last time?
Yeah, 6-6, but we hit the parlay.
All right, well, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters because usually the parlay takes us down, but this time it is taking us, has risen us from the ashes, my friend.
Do we have picks of the week? Do we do picks of the week?
No, we have been a little bit too scared to do picks of the week, I guess. But after this parlay, damn it, we're back on the picks of the week, man.
All right, fair enough. Well, first, the number one team in the nation, Ohio State, is apparently playing Rutgers, and they have a spread of 51 points.
Wait. You said number one team in the nation.
I mean, they're considered kind of
Really?
the number one team.
Really? I didn't know that.
I mean, look, dude, the BCS rankings is a little messed up right now, but
playoff, yeah. Well, yeah, the rankings are always messed up. You're right.
But they're sliding Ohio State at 1, even though LSU won. They're number 2. But either way, Ohio State has 51 points on Rutgers, dude. I mean, come on, dude. They're going to beat them that bad? That's craziness.
What time does that game start, my friend?
It's going to be an afternoon game.
Let's see. Trying to find it.
I mean, Rutgers is bad, man, but
Rutgers is bad. Logan Ryan keeps talking about them and trying to bring them back to the past glory, and that was like 10 years ago.
Well, I mean,
they're bad.
Look, they're not winning this game. That's there's no way in hell that's gonna happen. But.
Damn, dude, 51 points, man. I mean, that is you're averaging at least 14 a quarter.
I mean, in fairness, Ohio State has beaten 2 teams worse than that this year, but I mean,
on the road,
both of them were at home.
Yeah. Ohio State's going on the road.
They're going on the road. They'll be a little distracted. I mean, beating them is beating them. They don't have to beat them by 50-something points, man. So I think they can. I think Rutgers will still get beat by 48, but it won't be 51.
Exactly. The over/under is 60.5. So that's interesting.
You would bet over on that because, Ohio State's going to run up a score, but they're going to probably let Rutgers get a couple and just, they feel better.
And they'll just be like, go ahead, wear it on air, man. Just go ahead. That's a touchdown. We'll step back, just running in. Let's give you a confidence booster. Let's just make sure that, you guys at least can hold your head up a little bit. Just a little bit. Not much. But just a little bit. So you like Rutgers, man? Okay.
Just to not lose by over 51. That kind of spread is embarrassing. These are 18, 19-year-old children, man.
They did run. Ohio State did run an onside kick against Maryland last week.
Right.
In the first quarter. So, like, I mean, they all kind of.
There's no question that
a-holes.
they're not going to beat the shit out of this team. That's not what we're saying, man. We're just saying that
I
that
understand
that
that.
kind of
It's,
spread is crazy. You have to take the under in a spread like that. You can't just be
I
like, oh yeah, they're
understand,
going to
man.
beat
I
them
just
by
feel like it's
7.
a trick, though, man. That's all.
You
It's
think
not
it's a trick?
fair. I just
I
feel
mean,
like
it
it is.
probably is, man. It probably is a trick.
Because Ohio State, yes, in your mind, you can see them going, 51 and a half, 55, 60,
I
63,
mean, we could just leave it alone. We could.
No, I'm interested in it. So, yeah,
All
let's
right,
go
man. I mean,
Rutgers, man.
that's a huge spread.
I know it is, but it's just like Ohio State's weird, man. But you're right, they're on the road.
They're on
Let's
the
go
road.
Ohio State.
They're not
That's the
going to
only
beat
reason.
someone that bad on the road. They're
I
not in their
mean,
beds. They're not comfortable. There's problems with
it, it may be the Rutgers homecoming weekend, too. We don't know, man.
it. Yeah, if they bring them in on their homecoming weekend, they're idiots. All right.
So we'll take 51 and a half. It may go up by the end of this week, but we'll take it, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it will go up. There's another one that's pretty interesting with a huge spread. Clemson with Wake Forest. Even though Clemson's undefeated, Wake Forest is 7-2, man, and they have 33 and a half. That's a lot.
Wake Forest is nobody's. I feel
They're
Clemson
ranked
to cover.
19, dude. I mean, I know they're nobodies, but Clemson's not beating the shit out of anybody.
No,
Like,
they're
they've
not.
been just winning,
They've been just barely scraping by.
right?
Barely scraping
I mean, the
by.
teams that they've blown away are pitiful teams. Like, I mean, yeah, you're supposed to beat those teams, man.
Well, unlike my Titans, yes. They barely getting by. I like what you're saying. Like you like Wake Forest to at
I
least
mean,
lose by 30.
yeah, they're going to lose by 28 or something, but I think they'll cover that.
Yeah, is Wake Forest ranked?
They're ranked 19th. They're 7-2 on the season. They've been playing pretty well in the ACC. I mean, not that that's really anything because the ACC is just Clemson right now. But
I know FSU just lost a coach because he did not take care of us and win our bet, so he got fired. Thanks for making the correct choice at FSU.
well, yeah, you lose bets for us, you better get fired.
Yeah, dude. Sorry, man. That's just the way she goes, man.
That works for me.
So, yes, I like Wake Forest. You're right. They're kind of like that Duke team. They're kind of annoying, but they're going to stick it. They'll lose by 28. They lose by 21, but not 33. They're not.
Yeah,
Clemson
I mean, they're going to definitely lose. I mean, that's not a question. The team is not going to win.
Clemson has just been scraping by. They're not as dominant as they used to be.
Well, I mean, they haven't been scraping by against teams that are just no ones, which is who they've been playing recently and beating the hell out of them. But it's just like you're beating teams that, clearly don't have the same scholarships that you're getting, so it doesn't really matter.
That's right. Same scholarships, man. Same scholarships. Man, I was looking at this game, dude. I don't know if you want to visit it, but Hawaii versus UNLV. Hawaii is favored by 7. UNLV is at home.
All right. Well, UNLV has been back and forth with us as far as when we're betting against them. Sometimes they give us what we're looking for, and other times they don't. Hawaii is favorited, and Hawaii hasn't really played anyone. If we really want to get truthful about the teams they've beaten, I mean, they beat a San Jose State. They lost to a Fresno State, and they barely beat New Mexico. Like, I mean, come on, dude. They're not very convincing. Plus, they're going to be in Vegas. Anything could happen there.
I mean, those kids get out of control. I've seen the stadium. It's right across from the strip. I mean, shenanigans will endure.
I mean, the spread is only 7, though, man. I mean, I think Hawaii can beat them by that.
I mean, how good is Hawaii? But I was just because it's like
UNLV
Boise. Yeah,
UNLV is only 2-7, man.
Yeah, and one of those wins against Vanderbilt too, which was awesome.
And Vanderbilt's a trash team, man. Like, they don't try to play football for real.
And like you said, I like Hawaii, just because of it is at UNLV. For some reason, UNLV has not done well at home. They lost. They did not cover the spread against Boise State earlier this year. So I do like Hawaii to cover by 7.
All right. Let's do that. Let's do that. Well, there's also other action in the SEC, man. I don't know why you tried to avoid it.
Oh, I gotta go for my homes. My heart with Las Vegas. God
Right.
bless Las Vegas.
Well, there's the big game of Georgia and Auburn, and I don't know why we haven't discussed it yet, man.
Because this is going to be a tricky game.
It's a
Auburn
very
is number 13, Georgia's number 5, and Georgia's only favored by 3 on the road.
Right, dude, and that's why you got to go with Auburn, right? I mean, that seems like the big ticket item, so that we have Auburn, Alabama, and it's something that really means something, because Georgia is pretty much guaranteed winning the East. They're going to go to the championship game, right? So you got to have this be interesting. So Auburn's got to put everything they got in this game, and I think they will.
Auburn. I mean, literally, Auburn could win this game. Georgia does not seem that dominant on the road. They lost to
they just don't seem
South
that dominant of a team.
They lost to South Carolina, right?
Well, they lost to South Carolina at home, so that's different. But, I mean, when they went on the road to play Florida, they only won by a touchdown. They beat Kentucky only by 3 touchdowns. I mean, this is Kentucky. I mean, you need to be – they had a rough time against Notre Dame. I mean, they pulled it out, but it's Notre Dame. So they're going to be on the road at Auburn. I mean, to be honest with you, dude, they've only had one tough game on the road thus far, and that was their game against Florida, and they barely won that, only by 7. So I don't know, man. I don't know if they're going to be able to escape twice.
No. And Auburn, dude, it's been tricky. They've been hanging in this year. I think they should be ranked higher than a little bit 13, maybe 9, maybe 8. But, yeah, I like Auburn. Auburn may be pulling the upset on this one, too. 3 points is nothing when it comes to the SEC.
And again, and they're trying to write the book, dude. They're trying to write that story tale ending where Auburn and Alabama mean something, dude. So I'm pretty sure Auburn's going to get this one.
Okay, listeners, we're not saying it's rigged. It's just suspiciously like pro wrestling sometimes.
I mean, that's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. So.
Man, staying in the SEC, though, man, this caught my eye, too, because I thought this was an actual mistake when I saw it. Kentucky versus Vanderbilt. I know Kentucky's on the road, but Kentucky's only favored by 9.
Well, this Kentucky team is pretty bad. I'm not going to lie to you.
They did go down in Florida.
They lost to Tennessee. Now, hold up, dude. They've lost to Tennessee. They also lost to Mississippi State, who's been back and forth. But you know what? They've had a rough schedule because they have been playing a lot of good teams along the way. So I would give it to Kentucky because this is a game they know they're going to win, and might as well because it's Vanderbilt.
I mean, the thing is that, yes, Kentucky has been holding this on this year, and they've been keeping it close. It's just that Vanderbilt has not been keeping it close at all with anybody. I mean, they lost to UNLV by double digits at home. For some reason, they'll show up for 1 or 2 games. But, man, I like Kentucky to cover 9 points, man. Just to lay it on them. Just be like, yeah, Vanderbilt, at least we're not you guys. We're not the bottom dwellers. We're just almost the bottom dwellers.
Yeah, I think it's a safe bet, and I'm agreeing with you on that too. I want to go and talk about Keyshawn's team.
Oh, Keyshawn!
Keyshawn's team pulled out victory against Arizona State. Arizona State is just falling down the toilet, and they're getting worse.
No, don't say that about Herm Edwards, man.
But they are, dude, man. I mean, they are plummeting. They had a chance at greatness, and they have just squandered it. And USC is trying to, maybe keep themselves in the hunt for a Rose Bowl bid. They still need a little help along the way. I think they need Utah to lose this week for that to happen. But they still have hope. So I think I want to go with them beating Cal here by enough for it to matter. Cal is just 5-4. I think USC can pull that one off.
USC is playing in California at Berkeley, right? Or USC California?
Yeah, they're playing the alma mater for your favorite Aaron Rodgers there.
Oh, really? Oh, California boy, huh? Look, man, this ain't a away game, okay? This is just hopping on the bus and going across the street almost.
I mean,
This
it's
is
not that
nothing.
close, dude. I mean, it is at least a 4-hour bus ride, and plus it's
I'm
USC.
sorry.
So it's
4
probably a
hours.
45-minute flight because
See,
they have
because
enough.
I've seen it be flying, just because they like to make it look themselves like fancy like that.
Yeah, they're flying up there, and it's going to be 45 minutes to an hour. They could probably still sleep in their own beds, not even have to worry about it. Take an early flight and get up there. So I think
Yes, I like that, man. I like that a lot. USC to cover 6.5 right now. California, nah. Sorry guys, but USC has something to prove. Keyshawn's team. So I like that bet too. Let's see.
All right. How many is that for right now? Is that enough for the break, or do we need one more?
5, 6. Up is enough for the break. Our first 6 games have been chosen. Let me go with them real fast with you. We have Ohio Rutgers to have a little bit of pride and not lose by 51.5.
I mean, come on, dude, 51. That's just ridiculous. I mean, if they see that, they know they have to do something about that. I mean, that's embarrassing.
That's embarrassing, especially at home. We got to at least score a touchdown here and there. At least, a pity touchdown. Wake Forest at 33 points to beat the spread against Clemson. We like Hawaii to cover the spread with a touchdown. We sure as hell like Auburn to maybe pull the upset against Georgia, but they are underdogs, but beat the spread by 3 points. Kentucky to cover the spread at 9. And of course, Keyshawn Johnson's team, USC, to be covering the spread at 6.5. And those are our first picks. Call your bookies, get on the internet, let people get on there because these bets are hot and they are winners, my friend. And welcome back to Money Mouth. I am your host, Duke Thompson, with my boy, Be Easy, John Durnell.
More money.
That's right, money. We got our first 6 picks in for our first half. So onward we go to our next 6 games.
It's true.
Which will be who you looking at, man? What's catching your eye this week?
Well, let's talk about Florida playing Missouri, which Missouri is not a real SEC team. I mean, now they've won a few games. They're 5-4, so they try to act like they're a real SEC team. But they've lost to teams like Kentucky, and they've lost to Georgia, and they lost to Vanderbilt, for God's sakes. So they've been on quite a losing streak, and I just think their losing is going to continue, and I think Florida is going to bring the noise, and I think they'll lose by more than 7, especially since I think the last game Florida played, they beat Vanderbilt 56-0. So I think Florida is going to be ready to go.
Florida, man, is coming up to a number 11 in the rankings. They are making a serious case for the future. I like it. Heading in the right direction, maybe getting the back old days of Steve Spurrier in a swamp when it was intimidating. Missouri is not a real SEC team. I've driven through the state of Missouri with Be Easy, and they are not Southern. So how can they be in the SEC? is my question. And they just don't know how to play football, to be honest. So sorry, Missouri, you are losing by more than 7. I like to Florida to cover the 7 points.
Another interesting game happens to be a team that's given us some problems before as far as betting with Indiana. They're playing Penn State. Now, Penn State is only supposed to beat them by 14. Penn State did also recently lose in a shocking game that no one was expecting against Minnesota. Now, Minnesota, granted, is a ranked team at the time, but no one was expecting that loss.
I mean,
they've got to bounce back.
I mean, they weren't ranked at the time.
No, Minnesota was ranked. They just weren't ranked very high.
Okay.
But, I think they were ranked in like maybe the 20s or something like that.
Oh, okay. So then they jumped up because now, they were number 17.
Right. So, yeah, there we go.
And they beat a number 4 Penn State, which James Franklin, I don't know what you're doing. How you going to get that USC job if you keep losing with Penn State? I don't know. But now apparently, wow, Penn State is number 9 with that loss, and Minnesota is 7th. Wow. So Penn State is number 9 this week, going up against Indiana. Wow. I like which I assume you like Penn State here because
right. I think they're going to have some revenge. I think they got to go at them and go at them hard and hope for the best to get back into the top 4. Because
as we both know, that when you got these teams in the 20s, between 25 and 20, they come and drop all the time, And, I mean, good for the Golden Gophers to jump up from 17 to 7. But Indiana, you go into Penn State after Penn State has just taken a kick in the balls. I like Penn State. I just do not have any faith in Indiana. They may lose by I just think, man, Penn State is going to tell a new one, I think. After last week's loss, doesn't look good. So I like Penn State to cover the 14.5. Sorry, Indiana. Y'all just need to get better at basketball.
Jesus, man. That's ridiculous. You're like, go stick to some other sport. You don't know this one very well.
Well, I mean, they just don't. They just don't.
There's the team that beat Penn State in Minnesota. Now, Minnesota is playing Iowa, man, and they have Iowa favorited to win, and Minnesota hasn't lost a game this year. You've got to go Minnesota, right? They haven't lost yet.
Minnesota is playing who again?
Iowa.
Dude, Iowa tough, dude. I
know they're tough, man. But look, they haven't lost yet. You got to go with the team that hasn't lost yet. Like Iowa has lost to Wisconsin. Iowa has also lost to Penn State. Iowa's lost some games. They lost to Michigan. Now they're going to play teams tough. I mean, maybe so. Maybe we should go Iowa in this.
Iowa 23. I mean, they're only favored by 3. That is, I don't know. Wow. How is that possible? I mean, that's
because Minnesota hasn't lost, but Iowa, is going to play teams tough. I mean, even when they lose games, man, they're not losing by much. I mean, they lost to Penn State by 5. They lost to Michigan by only 7, and that was
man. A number 17 team, Minnesota, going into Iowa by a 3-point underdog. Man, dude.
And Minnesota just won that game against Penn State. I mean, they're going to be feeling good about themselves. They have not seen defeat yet all year. I mean, maybe we should stay away from it, but I mean, it's very tantalizing. I'll tell you that.
It is very tantalizing, man. I do like Minnesota here for the blatant disrespect.
Because they haven't lost yet.
Well,
I mean, you have to think about that, right?
Man, let's do it, man. Let's go with the Golden Gophers, damn it.
All right, man. Again,
I like that upset. I like them coming off that Penn State. Yeah, right, yeah. I mean, they're going on the road to Iowa. I mean, Iowa's 23. Yeah, Minnesota. Yeah, let's go Minnesota, man. Let's pick out underdog, man. Minnesota. And number
I mean,
7.
it's not like they're unscathed at home. They lost to Penn State at home. I mean, it's the only time they've lost at home. But, I mean, if the team that beat Penn State just beat Penn State, now it's coming to you, man, I think it just seems like you ain't going to win. I mean, that's what it looks like.
I mean, we don't need this crap of like losing by 1. Well, I mean, if they lose by 1, we still win. So yeah, let's go Minnesota.
Right.
I mean, at least anything, they will keep it tight.
Oh yeah.
Keep it tight.
It's gonna be real tight, baby. Real tight.
As tight as can be. Damn, man. HR is going to be involved soon.
Hey,
so
man,
moving on.
HR can't come in if we're just talking about a game being tight. That's all we were talking about. It was the game.
I felt uncomfortable there for a second.
Man,
tight.
you always feel uncomfortable. Now, speaking of uncomfortableness, man, we need to talk about some of these teams that don't matter. We need to get that out of the way. Especially
some of these teams that don't matter, because all teams matter, John.
I mean, I guess that's true, but some of these teams they don't seem to be playing on days where it seems to matter. Like when games happen on a Wednesday. There's a game with Northern Illinois and Toledo. Toledo is 6-3, and Northern Illinois is 3-6, and they only have Toledo winning by 2. I mean, for goodness sakes, Northern Illinois has only won 3 games, and one of them was against like Akron, and I mean, I don't think that even counts as winning a game. So I would have to say that Toledo should be able to win by a field goal. So let's go with that.
Toledo.
Yeah, Toledo at home.
Well, 2.5 against Northern Illinois. Yes, people, on 11/13, Wednesday in November, this is where your hardcore action is. I didn't even know Toledo had a football team. I don't know what Toledo is, but I do know what Northern.
A lot of meth is there.
A lot of meth.
A lot of meth smoking.
A lot of meth, huh? Well, let's go with Toledo.
There we go. Hopefully they'll put the pipes down for a night.
I mean, just put it down for a night for us at Money Mouth. We appreciate it, and maybe in the future, our gambling tips will help you get more meth.
Nope. We cannot encourage people to get meth. We cannot do that.
All we can do is get people the money, and what they choose to do with the money,
I guess it's true.
I cannot say. I'm putting stereotypes on Ohio. I'm sorry, Ohio, but your Browns still
there
suck.
You go. Yeah. Oh wow. All right. So there's also
so we're putting $6 on that game. That's right. We'll do it right now, man. We're going with $5.45 on that one, man.
Well, there's also a Thursday game that seems fairly interesting with teams of Pitt and North Carolina. North Carolina's been spiraling down. They had some good times in the beginning, but things have not been good for them recently. The only recent victory they've had worth noting, I guess, was when they beat Georgia Tech by a lot, because they barely beat Duke at home, and beating Duke doesn't mean anything. They also lost to Appalachian State. So I feel like Pittsburgh is a fun and safe bet on that one.
Let's see. Pittsburgh versus North Carolina. At 8 o'clock on Thursday, a week before Thanksgiving. I kind of like that bet. Yeah, let's go Pittsburgh. North Carolina. It's a short week at home. North Carolina traveling. I know it's not that far, but still. Pittsburgh. Yeah, let's go Pittsburgh on that one.
All right.
So another $6 on that, people. We're getting into it now, man. Getting into it. Let's see.
Do you want to talk about Appalachian State, or are you?
Oh, Appy, man. Well, I ain't never scared to talk about Appy. Appy's been good to us overall.
I mean, they did have that loss to Georgia Southern, but they then went and beat South Carolina the very next week. So they're about to go play Georgia State, and they're only giving them 15.5 on them. but Georgia State only has the victory that matters of beating Tennessee. But since then, they've seemed fairly, beatable. They have won most of their games, though, so I mean, I can't take that from them. They just somehow started the season really hot with that game, but I don't think State's going to or Appalachian State, not Georgia State, I don't think they're just going to take them lightly. I think they might try to storm through them to see if they can get back in the top 25 before the season ends.
Let's see. And when are they playing again? Is it Friday?
Well, that's a Saturday game, I believe.
I mean, Saturday, apologize. I'm trying to find it with my bookie. Called Bovada.
It'll be 7:30 Eastern time.
Oh, late game, huh? So, Sith. App State versus Georgia State. And who did we bet on, man? Georgia State. It's tricky.
I mean, they beat Tennessee, yes. And they've also won a few things here and there, but it's still Appalachian State, man. I think they're mad that they lost that one game that knocked them out of the top 25.
Yeah, because they deserve to be in the top 25. Against Georgia State.
Yep.
Georgia State, they 16. Yeah, on the road, man. Yeah, I like Appalachian State with that one. Let's go with that.
I mean, I think they're gonna do them wrong.
Yeah, Georgia State. You had a good run this year. They also too. Who do they play? They showed up against somebody or lost against. I don't know, but they've been tricky for us. We like Georgia State. We like Appalachian State, but I like Appalachian State to cover the 16 points. You're right. They can go in, just whoop their ass, put some points on the board, and just walk away with the victory.
There's also Oklahoma and Baylor. They got Baylor losing by over 10, it looks like here, and Baylor's at home. So, I mean, you got to bet on Baylor. They haven't lost yet, right?
Oh, let's see. Hold on one second. Let's count the games. So let's see what we got.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. You might have gone too far.
And actually, the App State is the last game, my friend.
All right, that works for me.
Yeah, so, I feel good about those picks. We got a Wednesday night game against Toledo. We also have a Thursday night game against Pittsburgh. So I need to get this podcast up tomorrow, which is priority number one. But, yes, this week, let's do our parlay, man. We came off last week with a strong win. A very strong winner parlay. This week is going to be a $6 parlay. So we're really looking at maybe $35, $40 win here. If we can just get those three teams right.
Well, I want to pick Florida because they got a cakewalk with Missouri.
There's a cakewalk. Florida. I do like Florida. I do have to agree with you on that.
I like Auburn, but I can see a lot of case for why we shouldn't do that.
Let's see here. Auburn, I mean, do you like Wake Forest or the Rutgers? I mean, Rutgers or Wake Forest here. I mean, I don't know.
Those I like, but I don't like them enough for parlay business. Like, I feel like USC would be good enough for parlay business because they only have to win by 7. That's a touchdown.
Wish they could do.
Right.
I like Penn State though. With Indiana.
All right, let's do that. Let's do Penn. They're coming off again a loss. They got to win, and they want to win big.
Yes, they want
something.
Dude, they got something to prove, man. They ain't no chumps, man. They ain't no chumps, and they're trying to be a contender again in the Big Ten. That's Big Ten football, no defense. No, they don't believe in defense down the Big Ten in Ohio. Let's see. Boom, Penn State. Let's see how much we could win. And what
Better
was
be a
our
lot.
final team, man?
What do you mean? Who was our final team?
We got one more. I
We
got
had Penn
Florida.
State, Florida, and then who else did we have?
I don't know, man. Who do you think? This is gonna be a tough one. This is the thing when people.
Kentucky. Just go Kentucky then,
Okay, Kentucky then.
because I mean they should beat the mess out of Vanderbilt.
They should. You damn straight they should. That's right, Kentucky. We're looking your way, Kentucky. Number one team in the nation, LSU. We didn't touch this week.
We didn't touch them. We didn't touch Alabama. There's teams we didn't touch.
No, especially after like a great game. I didn't know if you saw it, but apparently the Burrow kid he's got his Heisman Trophy.
Well, I mean, of course they're going to give it to him. He beat Alabama. He beat the big bad Nick Saban. So, like, whatever.
He beat the big bad Nick Saban, the Bill Belichick of our college football generation. So I'm proud of them for doing that. Good for them. But I just think they're not national championship material. There, I said it.
Well, we'll find that out later, won't we? There's still some time for that.
I mean, there's going to be what? There's going to be 3 teams in the playoffs, and it's all going to be SEC teams, the first 3, and then they'll let Ohio State in just because.
Or Clemson, one of the two. They'll let one.
Well, I want to see Clemson, so all the Ohio State people be like,
it's really hard to keep Clemson out of there if they go undefeated, man, because, like, again, they just won the last one. But we'll see what happens.
That's right. We'll see what happens. And if I can find Kentucky, then I will be able to tell you how much is our possible win.
They hiding it from
there. It is. They always hide things from me, man. Maybe because I'm a little bit stoned, a little tired for my government job. But there we go. All right. So our parlay is going to be Penn State, Florida, and Kentucky. That's right. On a $6 bet, we could win a $35.75.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
That's right, people. $35.75. Plus, if we go undefeated with our bets, we'll be doubling our money real fast.
Hopefully so.
Hopefully
the goal is to go undefeated.
Go undefeated every time. Every time, man. Every time. All righty, man. And so, until next week, my friend, when we tell us where they can find you at the other podcast.
There's also good old the Ricky Williams trilogy. We can find us as well as the Moose talking about sports, but mostly talking about, what's going on in the NFL. And then if there's something not going on in the NFL, we'll talk about the other sports and give them some sort of recognition.
Like LeBron James.
That's right. Every now and then we got to bring up LeBron. But how was last week? Was it good?
It was good. We didn't. We missed you. Moose got a little bit big headed for his. He got a little bit big for his britches.
Oh well. All I know is this past week it's like every team I picked lost. So I don't know. Maybe I got to be like in the moment, man. Like when it seemed like the teams that should have won, but they didn't. They all did. So I don't know what was going on that week, but things happen.
That's right, man. Things do happen, like the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, the Falcons winning, wasn't seeing that coming. Bears finally pulled something out of their, back pocket, which was craziness. Hell, even the Jets have decided to win back-to-back games, and I'm like, this is just out of control. And the Dolphins don't want the number 1 pick anymore. Things are really getting out of control.
Fitzpatrick, I believe, who was it says, Terry Bradshaw says, man, Fitzpatrick's got at least 6 more years with 5 other teams, man. So, Fitzpatrick's just doing some amazing stuff down there. I don't know. He's making a case to being champion all over again. But yes, Ricky Williams, we do love to talk football. I guess to 2, you can find us here at Money Mouth, of course. John's got his side projects where he is a movie critic. And what is that podcast called?
It's IMD Weed. Yeah.
IMDb Weed. That's right. Good.
Gotta get high, man. Watch some movies.
That's right, because there's no better of an opinion than a stoner's opinion on a movie.
This is very true. Very true.
And also, too, they are true to their word because they are on a puff system. Is that correct? Puff. What is it?
You mean the fact that it's legal in California?
Oh, no. It's puff, like you're ready. It's like 3 out of 5.
Oh, yes,
puffs, right?
yes. That's right.
So,
that is correct.
I mean, that's creativity right there from stoners, man, that you would just not expect. And you also, too, are on the road right now, correct?
This is true. Out in the streets. Next, we're making our way down to Georgia from Tennessee.
Down to the hot Atlanta.
Yeah, well, I mean, Athens, then Atlanta. But by the time this comes out, yeah, we'll say Atlanta.
I would say he'll be in the South, people.
That's right.
He'll be in the South, and we can follow his adventures through the South as he's making people laugh and having all sorts of shenanigans in trouble down south, but not too much trouble.
Yeah, hopefully not any real trouble, man. You know how the police get.
Police get a little mean sometimes down there, man.
That's an understatement.
It's an understatement. That's right. I've driven up here with my tags in Washington, expired for 3 months, and never pulled over. But down south, dude, that very first day that your tags are expired, they're pulling your ass over. It's like
especially if you have my hue.
Your hue. Well, you know, if you have your hue, you're in trouble wherever you go.
Wow, that's great. That's great.
But on
Get
that
into a political podcast now.
We don't go political.
We're just trying to make some money.
We're just trying to support the black quarterback. That's all.
Wow, I mean that too. All right.
That too.
I mean, at least buddy. My team has one. Yours got rid of him.
Oh, dude. Hey, Mahomes, man. He light skinned, man. You know.
Right. Well, his daddy's black. But anyway, go Chiefs.
That's all that matters, right? And go Titans, man. And well, that's all that matters.